19 minutes past 1 p.m. We do continue with Wednesday's edition of NTV at 1. Now, in the education sector, on 2nd June 2022, the Government of Uganda, in partnership with the United Nations in Uganda, will join other countries in the eastern and southern region to launch the Education Plus initiative. Here to speak to us about this and more, we do have Charles Drachabo, the National Projects Coordinator at UNESCO. Good afternoon to you, Charles.
Yeah, good afternoon, Priscilla.
All right, so Charles, we want to find out what is the Education Plus initiative and what are you intending to achieve?
Thank you very much, Priscilla, once again, and thanks, viewers. Education Plus is an initiative, is a global initiative, or a high-level political initiative to be able to drive, support for increased access for girls' education, especially secondary education, so that there are more girls that can enroll, complete their secondary school, as opposed to the current situation. So that is the initiative, and that's the drive for investment and for actions towards that.
Okay, all right. Charles, you have mentioned girls, and what's the current situation in Uganda regarding young girls and women's access to senior secondary education, and what is the gap compared to their male counterparts?
Thank you very much. The current statistics do reveal that actually while there is almost parity in enrollment for girls at primary level, at the second level, in terms of completion, there are fewer girls, less than 40% of the girls actually who enroll in secondary school do complete, compared to male counterparts, where up to 80% of the males do complete. So we think it is an issue, it's a gap that we need to look at so that we can scale up the increased completion of girls' education. Okay,
what are the present problems that girls are facing, and how has COVID-19 also contributed to those existing problems?
Well, currently the situation, the structural factors include, the situation of HIV, the situation of adolescent sexual reproductive health, challenges that affect young people, the issue of gender-based violence. There's hardship in terms of economic hardship that make it very difficult for girls to, to survive in the secondary environment. So those are some of the fundamental, challenges that tend to affect girls and make them drop out and not to finish their secondary education.
Okay, Charles, the problems that you have mentioned, of course, call for support structures. Are there any support structures that the Ministry of Education and Sports and other stakeholders have actually put in place to ensure that girls' completion of secondary education is well supported moving forward?
Yeah, thank you very much. In terms of policy, the Government of Uganda has very, very favorable policies, including those policies for re-entry. That means girls who have been, unfortunate and drop out of school, either because they get pregnant, should be allowed to rejoin. So there is a re-entry policy. We have got sexuality education framework in place. We have got our laws which are favorable, and also the government is working to ensure that within these schools the structural environment is favorable to allow for the proper management of girls, adolescents' health rights and needs in the secondary, so that they don't have to drop out. So structurally, yes, there is an effort made by the government. Also, in terms of the policies and the political commitment, we have got the most favorable one, but more can be done.
All right, Charles, I do believe that such an initiative as Education Plus must be costing an arm and a leg for East and Southern countries. What is the cost of this particular project?
Well, we anticipate that in order for us to complete this is a 5-year project, our initiative that we are driving. We may go up to around $20 million US to mobilize that funding to be able to drive this initiative so that it can be able to achieve the intended targets that we have set.
Okay, and your final shots on this conversation?
My final say is that this is an initiative, a worthwhile initiative, and I appeal to all Ugandans from the various sectors, from the ministries, from the legislators, and also the religious leaders, the parents, and everybody out there to join hands in order to support this initiative so that we have our girls successfully complete their education and transit to the world of work.
All right, thank you so much, Charles. It's glad to